Good morning, Ambazonia. Today, now Wednesday, number 3 day for this month of number 8 month for this year 2022. My name na Capo Daniel, the spokesman of the Ambazonian Governing Council, aka Sense Pass King. Una welcome for our daily podcast, a program where they bring una meaningful information, fact-based analysis, the truth as we do work for this road for our freedom, the independence of Ambazonia. Good people of Ambazonia, today we enter number 2 days for the lockdown will be called by the Ambazonian Governing Council. After huge sabotage from within, Ambazonia should know that the enemy within is more lethal than the enemy from the outside. The Ambazonian Defense Forces, one of the greatest operations that was supposed to put Ambazonia on the map, tipped Operation Sunrise, was scrapped as a result of the sabotage of Ambazonians within, and the enemy will launch an attack against our mother base in a liberated area in the great state of Momo in Batibo. The Ambazonian Defense Forces had gathered and rallied over 300 forces plus their Akamanso in Batibo, Momo, in preparation for a major operation that was dubbed Operation Sunrise, that was supposed to take over 2 Ambazonian cities and hold them for 2 days. This operation was geared to put Ambazonia on the map, to rekindle the spirit of our liberation, and to prove to our international partners that we seek for recognition, to recognize our ability to be able to impose our sovereignty over our territory, and to be able to organize roadblock checks within our cities to provide law and order. Our capacity to do such operations is critical for Ambazonia to be recognized as an independent state. Those who have fought against this ghost town have killed one of the greatest operations and set Ambazonia back like Ambazonia have done so before. We remember the days of General Mba Ivor, when the mobilization of our forces were also crippled in the great state of Mamfe. Boya was a city for the takeover plan originally. Today, Ambazonia fights vigorously, and Bamenda have become the center of our war of liberation, the capital of Ambazonia resistance, not because we choose so, but because of the fight within, the internal enemies, those who think less of Ambazonia ingenuity, those who call our soldiers Nchangshu boys, those who came out to criticize the Ambazonia Defense Forces to project power, to create a uniform and a military on the ground. Today, they have done their worst. Because of ego, because of jealousy, because of the wicked black man syndromes, Ambazonians are their worst enemy. What has it benefit a man for all this sabotage? We have buried 11 brave men who have given their life. These soldiers of the Ambazonia Defense Forces have mothers, have wives, have family, just like you and I. They have been killed at the same time when some Ambazonians were online trying to sabotage a major component of their operations. These are forces who came from far and near to rally themselves for a nationalist cause, selflessly to defend homeland. A pastor from Ground Zero gave us a story which I wish to relate to you very briefly. The story of a man called Eka. Eka was a Hebrew during the time when the children of the Hebrew surrounded the city of Jericho. Joshua, the servant of God, told them that every spoils of war in Jericho should not be taken by any Israelite. As the city of Jericho fell over the hands of the Israelite, one of them, called Eka, who was the leader, who told the people not to collect any of the spoils for themselves, went along collecting golds and diamonds and jewelries from the spoils. God punished the entire Jewish people for the Ark of Acre. They lost a battle in Ai, where 36 brave Israelite soldiers were killed. They came back crying and they pleaded to God. God told them, one of them have death in his hands. Acre has eaten from the hands of the Jericho. He was found, he confessed his sin, and the people of Israel, God asked them to kill Acre, kill his entire family, burn their bodies and everything that belongs to them for the crime of betraying their country, and men were slaughtered in battle because of the betrayal of one of them who touched the riches of the ungodly. Chris Anu of Ambazonia have touched money from La République du Cameroon. He have confessed so by himself.
The thing I know, Mimi Mefo, is the CDC deal. Dr. Samuel Komesago cannot say it did not exist because I took it to him.
Chris Anu, who had confessed to his colleague about meeting Colonel Bankwe and many Cameroon operatives, his brother Oliver Leke, who died after being kept in a hotel in Yola in Nigeria by Success Congo, and the rest for the release of his wife and for the transfer of money. These people are working for La République. These are not just accusations. These are accusations that have evidence. Of course, everybody can accuse everybody. People can make counter accusations, but the accusations against Chris Anu working with La République comes with evidence and witness testimony, including testimony from himself. These are agents of La République du Cameroun working within Ambazonian struggle to undermine the nationalist movement who seeks to put irreplaceable policy on the ground that will make it impossible for Ambazonian not to be granted independence. That is why they are fighting against the lockdown and the Operation Sunrise. You have Mark Barata and the rest who have been lobbied by Agbogbala, who, by his own words on Twitter, betray his master, as Mark Barata went along to engage unnecessarily with Agbogbala, who is calling for an Anglophone president. Mark Barata, in his response, said he respectfully disagreed with Agbogbala. The engagement in itself is a betrayal of the heart and loyalty of Mark Barata to Agbogbala. Agbogbala deserves no respect. When it comes to the ghost town and the lockdown, Mark Barata went on Facebook, have a live show to counter the ADF and declare no lockdown when a lockdown have been called upon by a well-constituted body for national interest and for national security. Mark Barata have betrayed himself and have shown his hand. The same person who come against the ADF for having a uniform, the same person who publicly confess of knowingly deceiving the Ambazonian people into the IG concept of a government when he knows it was counterproductive, owes the Ambazonian people an apology and the family of those 11 soldiers who have been slaughtered in Batibo an apology. What motivates these people to come against the ADF is not just about ideology, it's about loyalty, failure driven by corruption, ego, wickedness and pure jealousy. They must primate what we will call primitivity. You also have the people of Fontemniba, of the so-called Southern Cameroon Alliance, the town hall, who engage, or the Takambangs, who engage with us in meetings. And Kilo, Madame Kilo, came and was even against the Monday Ghost Town, which is the only tool that keeps our people in the mindset of a war and resistance against Cameroon rule. You take away the Monday Ghost Town, you have given a big blow to the pillar of our resistance against Cameroon. These have exposed those people who are against every single policy of the Ambazonian Governing Council. They are after the ghost town. Even the so-called Team ACT, in their engagement with the HD in Switzerland, their first demand for them was to test their ability to undermine the Monday ghost town and to call off the school boycott of Cameroon government schools. They have exposed their hand. Like the story of Acre, the children of Israel were losing in battle, not because it wasn't a divine ordained struggle, not because their soldiers were not dedicated, but because some of them have soiled their hands with the spoils and the golds and diamonds of the enemy. Without a doubt, the policies of Sako Ikome, Chris Anu are driven by corruption from La République du Cameroon. How many Ambazonian soldiers have been killed in Fako, in Meme, in the CDC plantation, because these people wants to guarantee their deal with La République du Cameroon. Even testimony from their own camp, with die-hard IG loyalists like Grandpa for Bali. His spokesman have testified to the Ambazonian people how they set up their forces to be annihilated by the Cameroon military. These people are using the Cameroon military openly to annihilate our soldiers and do away with the so-called internal competitors. No, they are not competitors. They are not internal enemies. These are just people doing the job of La République in the disguise of internal wrangler. It is no doubt to the Ambazonian people, and it is clear to the people in the city of Bamenda, that the lockdown, 3-day lockdown called by Sako Ikome was enforced by the Cameroon military. Deployed Cameroon military told people to go back home. It is lockdown day. But the lockdown declared by the Governing Council was fought with all might and power of the Cameroon military that launched a major attack against our base. Some people have called on the Governing Council to send our Bamenda Brigade to shoot guns in the air in order to intimidate our people to stay at home. For us, that will be a disgrace. That will be unethical. We cannot use terror against our own people to force them to stay at home. We believe our people must engage collectively, willingly, recognizing the power of their sovereignty and their national interests in listening to those who have properly constituted themselves to represent our national interests. We will continue to engage our population to educate them away from Cameroon propaganda, who fought hard against this ghost town. The Cameroon military uses fake news, printed fake images, and cloned the Facebook page of Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba and other credible Ambazonian leaders in order to misrepresent their opinion and their view to counteract and to fight against this lockdown. Yes, the Cameroon government fought hard against this lockdown, but the victory did not come from the Cameroon government. It came from the Ambazonians who partnered with them, who fight alongside the Cameroon government to fight and stop this lockdown. The victory was theirs, and was theirs indeed. The loss was that of Ambazonia. But we will never give up. We will never blink. We will continue to fight, and we will enforce this lockdown as much as we can. Those who violate this lockdown will be sanctioned and will be punished, no matter how long it takes. They will not be intimidated to respect the ghost town, but punishment will be given due to the violation of orders that is for the general good of our general public. Drivers who use the highway routes to get into our territory to undermine the lockdown were arrested. 8 vehicles have been destroyed as a result of violation of this lockdown.
Yes, Gazelle boy. We know the ghost town. Supreme General. General FM, aka big number.
There will be zero tolerance for those who violate laws and rules that are meant for the sole purpose of our collective good and for the aspiration of our people to be independent. I mean, zero tolerance. There will be no hiding place, including for those in the diaspora who undermine our independent effort. Sooner or later, they will have to account and pay for their crimes. As for those on ground zero, any individual who, for convenience sake or for self-benefit, decides to violate this law, you do so at a risk. Our soldiers will enforce the lockdown to everybody that violates it as the need be, as the contacts are being made. If you drive your vehicle around Ambazonia during these 4 days, you are doing so at your own risk. We have known today more than ever before and reminded of this fact. Ambazonians are our own worst enemy. Cameroon can never win us, but with the help of internal facilitators, they can give us a big blow and can indeed win us. If that happens, because Ambazonians sheepishly, foolishly support La République du Cameroon to fight against us, then we will go dark. But one thing our people can be sure of, we will never allow any generation of Ambazonia to live like those who live around our territory after betraying the trust of the people of Southern Cameroons, like Jongu Foncha. Those who are going to betray Ambazonia, who are going to facilitate Cameroon fight against our nationalism. Those who are going to enable Cameroon to rule our territory. Those who are going to act as enablers, collaborators. They should be sure about one thing. The ADF and the Ambazonian Governing Council will last forever. It is an institution not built on personalities or individual. It will last forever. And as long as this organization exists, all those who partner with Cameroon, knowingly or unknowingly, all the enablers and collaborators, we will hunt you down until we make sure that you see our face before you close your eyes to meet your God. We will hunt you down like games. That I can promise you. Spies, blacklegs, enablers, collaborators, facilitators will be hunted down for 1,000 generations. There will be zero tolerance so long as we live. So help us God. As for our primary enemy, the state of Cameroon and its military, they have tested it and they can confirm, quote, the Ambazonian Governing Council, the Ambazonia Defense Forces, is a backbone of resistance of professional military men. They lost more men than we did. We are very proud of our boys, and we call on all Ambazonians who are patriots to reach out and support the Ambazonian Governing Council as we bury our dead. We will fight this war with two hands, one against La République du Cameroon and another against those who fight against Ambazonia, using us as an excuse to accomplish their goal. Our forces have regrouped. They are more dedicated than ever before. We call on our people to reach out to answer this sabotage with more funds for the Ambazonia Defense Forces. One thing I can guarantee you, we shall prevail and we shall not blink. We fight with pride and honor, and we represent the glory of Ambazonia. We embody the spirit of our independence and the aspiration of our people. We represent that interest. We will defend and protect that interest with our own very life. That is our oath. That is our commitment of every single Ambazonia Defense Forces that is out there to fight until independence. No reverse, no surrender. Capo Daniel, signing off.
No munda sangla, no munda sangle.